Supposed to be sunny today. Kind of somewhat sunny, but we'll see more of that as we go through the day today. Tuesdays, we love to sit down and talk with Pete to get a little update on what's going on with the roadways around the area. Of course, didn't have a whole lot to talk about this past winter, but as we roll into spring, we've had some rain showers. Has that held much up, Pete, or not?
Yeah, it actually has delayed a project a little bit, but nothing bad yet. When it happens this early in the spring, you've got plenty of time to make up for it as the year goes along. But yeah, the rains we've had have set us back a few days on a couple projects, but like I said, nothing to be concerned about at this point.
Well, that's good. What are you guys working on? What's one of the things you always tackle at the beginning of the year? Is there anything special that you do, or potholes or anything?
Well, that's the potholes are obviously early in the spring. That's when the freeze thaw cycle is taking place, probably on a daily basis. So that's when a lot of those start showing up. So yeah, that's more of a maintenance thing where our maintenance staff gets out and does that. But as far as construction projects, the ones you see early in the spring are the reconstructions where you're going to be tearing out roadway, and probably a lot of them, especially if it's in a city, you're going to be doing underground work with storm sewer and water main and sanitary sewer and things like that. So those take a long time and are very involved. So you want to get going on those early. And then the other one is bridge projects. If you're replacing bridges, bridges are very involved construction processes as well that do take pretty much a whole construction season. So you want to get going on them as early as possible too. So, and that's the other thing too with bridge projects now that we're keeping an eye on is when you start getting a bunch of spring rains early on, when you're removing the bridge, you're removing the deck and things like that, it's not that bad. But when you start doing work down in the river or the creek, if you start getting high water levels, that can delay you as well. So that's another thing we're keeping an eye on now with the rain that we did get. And then see, there's a chance, I know it's still early, but some possible severe weather this weekend. So those are some of the things we deal with in the early part of the construction season.
I've heard a lot of people, Pete, and I'm sure you have too, that whole thing on the west side of Mason City.
Yep.
How that's just you guys are doing that too, right?
Yep. We are replacing that bridge on 122 westbound heading into town. And you set me up perfectly, Jay. We have a change coming up out there starting tomorrow. We are going to be signing a new detour. The old detour is still there, but you can still go into take 122 all the way to Lark and go down to 106 and back to Eisenhower. But starting tomorrow, we are going to have a signed detour up that will take people down interstate, detour them down interstate to 106 and then over to Eisenhower. Hopefully that will cut down on the traffic on Lark Avenue right now. And we'll go from there. We'll keep, as we do with all these detours and projects, we monitor them as they get going. And if we see something that we want to change, we go in there and change it. And that's what we're doing right now. So tomorrow, those signs will be up, detouring people down interstate south over to 106. And you remember too that if you're coming into town and you want to be on the north side of town, you can take interstate up to B20,
right?
And you can go in that way. We do also want to make sure people remember that 122 is still open. It is still open like it is today. So you can still, if you want to get to some of the businesses between Interstate and Lark Avenue, you can still take 122 in and you'll be fine that way. So yeah, that is happening tomorrow. So hopefully that will make things go a little bit smoother.
Well, I've heard a lot of comments about it.
Yep. And it's one of those things where, again, we sign the detours and we hope that people use them. And a lot of times with the detours, and I know we talked about this earlier this week, people take them a couple times, and if they're too busy, they don't like them, they find their own route. They would take interstate, or they'll take Jonquil or something like that. But people seem to be sticking to Lark Avenue on this one, so we're going to put signs up and hopefully get them to start going a different route.
Well, there you go. Just be patient, people. It happens. That way we can get some good roadways a little smoother, right? I mean, besides the bridge,
we always talk about work zones are a different driving condition, and it's the same with detours. It's part of the construction process. It's to use a saying that'll probably make me sound like I'm 80 years old. You've got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. So
God, you are old, Pete.
I prefaced it that way, so
Yeah.
you should have been ready for it.
I mean, I
Yeah,
knew you were older than me, but not that old.
yeah. Well, how about this? I'm old enough to realize I said something. I'm old.
Yeah, there you go.
How's
There you-
that for talking in circles?
Perfect. Perfect. As you head west, though, you got those detours over there. Those lights are still working. I've been through those last week. I went through those going to Okoboji in Garner and over by Britt.
Yep, they're not detours, but they are, like you mentioned,
Right.
the traffic signals. Yep, that will allow single lanes through. And those projects are actually the one just on the west side of Garner is going well. That's the one where the rain has slowed us down a little bit. But again, we're early. We still hoping to have that done by late May, early June. And then the bridge deck replacement projects that you mentioned between Britt and Duncan, they are moving ahead. They've got the deck pretty much gone on the one closest to Britt. They should finish removing that deck this week. Then they'll move to the one a little further east down the road. So those two projects, as we mentioned off the top, are pretty involved bridge projects, and they'll take into October to get completed. But the one by Garner, that's a different type of project. That's just the bridge approaches, and so hopefully have that one done by late May, early June.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got the one side. When you get to the one side, you switch over and do the other side then, right?
Yep, that is correct. That's exactly right.
All
Yep.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
since they're just bridge deck replacements and not entire bridge replacements, we can do
right.
that.
Yeah. Anything off to the east headed towards Waterloo, Cedar Falls area, 122 or anything or not?
We will be getting going on Floyd today and some throughout the end of this week and early next week. I know we touched on it last week too, but the contractor just is getting in now. There's some pavement removal work underneath the bridge on 218 going into Floyd, and there's going to be some rumble strips going in on US 218, the 4 lane, as well as grooving in new paint markings. So that's going to get going late this week, early next week. Just be some lane closures. Shouldn't be too bad, but be aware that there will be work taking place over there. And the bridge deck overlay just north of Floyd on US 218, that got going last Wednesday. So they're making progress on that as well, and hopefully, hopefully we'll get the rain we need for the farmers and to get rid of this drought stuff, but also give us some good working conditions. Find the happy medium there.
At one point, it was like 8 inches the farmers still needed to get out of this drought thing. Are we got to be getting a little closer, don't we?
I would guess so. I don't know. I don't know the numbers on it, but I do know that even after some of the rains, you see the drought monitor, and a good chunk of our area was still in the red, and that's not where you want to be right now.
Right. Exactly. So that's it for road construction, Pete?
Actually, there's one more I want to touch on that's going to schedule to start on Monday, and
Okay.
that's on I-35, and it's going to be just south of Clear Lake down to milepost 177. So that's about 15 miles. And we are going to be going in there and doing a microsurfacing project in both the north and southbound lanes. Again, it'll just be single lane closures, but that's scheduled to start Monday. So something to look out for. We'll hopefully get that done. Those projects go pretty quickly, but this is also, like I said, a 15-mile stretch. So it'll take a good month probably to get it done. And the other thing with those projects too is we restrict the contractor to only be able to work Monday through Thursday, just because Friday, Saturday, Sunday are such busy times on the interstate. We want traffic to be able to flow smoothly and keep everybody safe. So we only allow them to work Monday through Thursdays on those interstate projects. So again, be ready for that one to start Monday if there aren't any delays.
I know a lot of people travel to the west towards the Garner Britt area, and then they go through Emmitsburg and all that good stuff. You know, we talked about the stoplights. There's also still construction going on in the Okoboji, Spirit Lake, Arnold's Park area, and that's a mess.
Yeah, that's a pretty big project. Again, that's not in our
That's not your
district,
area. Yeah.
but it's we're aware of it just because they've really worked hard with, I know, with the community and the contractor to have work pretty much. And again, I don't know the details of it, but I know they
Right.
try to get most of the detail or the work done be, before Memorial Day, and then after Labor Day is
Yeah.
when they really try to focus the main part of construction anyway. And I know it's been a pretty good partnership between the community and the contractor and the DOT last year. So hopefully hopefully that continues.
Well, it helps out with a lot of businesses, and only because I'm a business owner over there.
Sure.
And yeah, to get downtown, you got to reroute and come through Arnold's Park and all that
Yep.
good stuff, and a lot of different things. We're going over there because the radio station 98.7 Kiss Country is actually up for an award this year.
Oh,
And the
nice.
Midwest Country Originals show that we do, and different artists. So there's a big party at the Roof Gardens, and gonna be hanging out there for a few days.
Well, that sounds like a good few days.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
You know, open up a little bit earlier and hang out, and so it's quite the deal. I don't know if they're streaming that this year or not.
Okay.
So, but I know that we talked about it. But
Yep.
it's all local artists in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Dakotas. So a lot of great local talent that do a fantastic job, and probably some people have seen them in their town celebrations around here.
Yeah, more likely. Yeah, that's fun. It's a fun time of year coming up too now with all the town celebrations and the live music, and it's fun. It's I guess it's why we put ourselves through the winters up here. Although we
Yeah.
all know we got pretty lucky this year.
Yes, we did. Yeah, it's so much amazing live music that they have in Oklahoma. It's almost like a mini Nashville of all. I mean, you got rooftop bars,
Sure.
and concerts coming. Cole Swindell's going to be there.
Okay.
Russell Dickerson, Scotty McCreery, who just got inducted into the Grand Ole Opry.
Those are some pretty good names.
Yeah. So REO Speedwagon. I know you're kind of in rock and roll, Pete.
I'm a big REO Speedwagon fan.
Are you really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. So they're gonna be there.
Cool.
Yeah. So they just had a thing here recently about favorite or who's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Like Ozzy Osbourne's going to be in there and
Yep.
things like that. So, were you a big Ozzy Osbourne fan?
Not a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan. I like some of his stuff, but I like I said, some of his more popular songs, Mama I'm Coming Home and Crazy Train, of course. And
I love Crazy Train.
yeah, some of those are fun to listen to every once in a while.
Oh gosh, yeah. Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang.
Oh wow, Cool in the Gang. That's going back.
Yeah, I know. They're all in the 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
And isn't that Cool with a K?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like if I remembered correctly.
There's only one Cool in the Gang.
That's right.
Yours and ours is spelled C.
That's
Cool in
right.
the Gang.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. But, and I was asking people who, like Matt Grell said, the AC/DC and Motley Crue, Sarah likes the Steve Miller Band and the Queen. Because
Sure.
we all grew up. If you listen to country music today, a lot of us probably listened to some rock and roll back in the day.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Tim says the Cars.
Oh yeah, Cars.
Remember the
They were
Cars?
good. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yep.
And then first album bought was a Kiss. Steve said that, and Roll Over and AC/DC. So
Okay.
some AC/DC fans out there.
Yeah, I think Kiss was probably one of my first albums. In fact, I think it was the first album I ever bought.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think this was a Destroyer. Is that the one with Detroit Rock City and Beth and all? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why can I remember that?
I had to go. I had to go to town to watch it because my mom and dad wouldn't let me get it. Kids, they're a satanic group.
Yeah.
They play, the pastor would play the album backwards and be all satanic. Yeah. I listened to Kiss more in church during catechism than I did.
Did they really do that?
Yeah, I'm not kidding
Oh,
you.
funny. No, we never did
No.
that.
Yeah. So I had to go to my buddy's house and we'd jam out to Kiss
Yep.
in town. So
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty good.
his dad was a state trooper. So
Gotcha.
yeah, his mom worked. So we got there during the end, but we just rocked that. I mean, you think there was a party going on.
Yeah, now you probably get the same sound. You probably had 4-foot high speakers, and now you get the same thing out of a
Yeah.
Bluetooth the size of a pop can.
Right. Exactly. Remember when the MTV came about?
Yep.
We did that too, man. I had to go to because we didn't have cable in the country.
Sure. Yeah, no, I grew up on a farm too, so we did not have cable either. I do remember our neighbor. We thought he was so cool. He got satellite TV, and he had the satellite dish the size that you see at TV stations.
Oh, sure.
Is bigger than his garage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Those were the days, Pete.
Yep. Hey, what are we gonna do in the draft Thursday?
McCarthy.
You think so?
Well, we better.
I don't wanna trade the farm, Jay.
Well, I know
Don't
it.
wanna. I think we can get a good quarterback at 11. I really do.
You think
And
so?
then and then we still have our other first round pick. I don't know. We'll see. The way I keep looking back at it, and it happens all the time, it's such a crapshoot with quarterbacks. And the example I've been using 6 years ago, everybody wanted to trade up to get Sam Darnold.
Uh-huh. Look where he's
How
at.
did that? Yeah, how did that work?
Yeah.
It's too much of a crapshoot. I would rather stay where we're at, have 2 first round picks. I I think Kevin O'Connell is amazing with quarterbacks, and we'll go from there.
Well, we'll see. It starts on Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yep.
That's all. And they're having like a draft party up in Minneapolis.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
So are you going to that?
No, I actually have a public meeting about a future project in the Cedar Falls area from 5 to 6:30 Thursday night. So I will be in Cedar Falls.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
That is too bad. I'm kind of bummed.
We got a couple of guys here that are going. Harry's going, and I think his boy's going with him, and a couple of other guys are going up there.
Cool.
Yeah.
If we stay at 11 with our pick, I'll be back in time to see the Vikings make a pick, but I'll listen to it on the way home on the radio.
You still have that soft brick you can throw at the TV when you don't agree with what the pick is, right?
I've never had one of those.
What happened for people that don't know that aren't Viking fans, they used to sell like soft bricks because, the Vikings do so well at certain times of the games of the season that people would throw bricks. And you wouldn't break your TV that way if you had a soft brick.
Yeah, I've never thrown a soft brick. I may have thrown
It's always a hard one.
Exactly. I may have thrown my Vikings hat across the room a few times, but
he's watching the game outside, picking up landscaping bricks and throwing them across.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's probably, I think it could be the most impactful draft the Vikings have had in probably 10 years. I think this draft could set us up really well for the next 5 years, or it could set us back 5 years. I really do.
The Vikings always screw it up.
We'll see. We'll see.
Got to do a shout out to Kevin. He said, "Sounds great, gents."
Yeah, awesome.
How about that? Yeah, good old Kevin.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Pete, anything else you got going on?
No, I think that should be it. We will be starting some, we call them smaller maintenance projects, where the contractor has several different highways in the area where they'll be doing crack filling and things like that. So they should be starting in a week or two. Keep an eye on 511ia.org because they jump around with those, and we try to keep them updated on 511. But just be aware, it's that time of year. It's going to get busier and busier out on the roads, and watch out for the road work. Slow down, and again, even if you're on a detour, it's a different driving situation. There's more traffic than normal, no matter where you are. So it's part of the work zone. It's part of progress. We'll get through it, and we'll have better, smoother roads in the future.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Pete, have yourself a wonderful week. Oh, Kevin just popped in. Tell Pete, I'm sorry you screwed up the graphics on the sportscast back in '96.
Wow.
Yeah. Boy, Kevin's got a good memory.
Sorry, I screwed. I have forgiven Kevin a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I forgave him by the time I got home that night.
1996? Who remembers back that far?
That's crazy. Well, you know what that means? That means Kevin cared. That means Kevin cared, and he was disappointed he made a mistake, and we appreciate it. Those guys worked hard behind the scenes, man. They had a lot of stuff they had to do in a short amount of time. And that's actually really kind of cool.
Huh. Did you ever get upset on the set?
Did I ever get up? Very rarely. Very rarely. And if it was 9 out of 10 times, it was something I did.
Oh. Well, at least you owned up to it. You took accountability, Pete. There you go. Nice job.
Yeah, well, if you start blaming other people, that doesn't usually end well anyway. So, yeah, no, 9 out of 10 times, I'm pretty sure it was me.
Well, good. Kevin's lost sleep for the last how many years since 1996? He hadn't been able to sleep because he had never, you know.
Well, I sure hope not.
All right, Pete. Have yourself a great week. All right.
All right, you do the same, Jay.
That's the good stuff.